Have you ever seen a cursed object in your life? If so, what did it look like? Share your story in the comments below. Once upon a time, there was a girl who loved to visit flea markets. She never believed in curses. To her, old things were just old, nothing more. So, when she found a dusty mirror at a flea market, she thought it was a bargain. A cracked wooden frame, faded glass, tarnished silver trim. It looked harmless, and the old man's asking price was ridiculously low. She haggled him down even further, and soon it was hers. The first night, nothing strange happened. She placed it in her room, glanced at her reflection, and went to bed. But the second night, something felt wrong. Her reflection wasn't copying her. When she tilted her head left, the reflection tilted right. When she smiled, the reflection smirked. At first, she laughed it off. "It's just my imagination," she whispered. But each night it got worse. The mirror began to ripple, like water disturbed by an unseen hand. And then the reflection blinked. She froze, because she hadn't blinked. She tried covering the mirror with a cloth. But the next morning, the cloth was on the floor and faint scratches marked the glass. Words carved from the inside. "Let me out." The next day, her friends came over. She tried acting natural, but they could tell something was wrong. Her room felt strange, heavy, suffocating. They noticed she looked pale with dark circles under her eyes, but she always waved it off. "I'm fine," she'd say with a weak smile. And her friends, worried but believing her, eventually stopped visiting. She was alone. Each night she'd wake up from nightmares, her heart pounding, and turn toward the mirror to see the scratches. Had she done that in her sleep? Sometimes she'd find new ones. "Let me out, let me out, let me out." Each night the reflection grew stronger, the glass thicker, the scratches deeper. One night she woke to the sound of glass cracking. Her heart pounded. She turned her head toward the mirror and saw a pale hand pressed against the glass. A hand that wasn't hers. She whispered, trembling, "Stop, please stop." But it didn't stop. The reflection pressed harder. The glass bent outward, and then it stepped out. It wore her face, it wore her clothes, but the eyes were hollow, black, endless. She tried to run, but the reflection grabbed her wrist with ice-cold fingers. With a violent pull, it dragged her inside the mirror. Her scream echoed, but no one heard. In the morning, the sun streamed through her window. Her friends, worried, arrived at her doorstep. They knocked, but there was no answer. They tried the door, it was unlocked. They stepped inside to find her sitting at her desk, smiling at them. "I'm fine," she said, her voice echoing strangely. "Just a little tired. You guys should come over more often." And her friends, confused but relieved, began to chat about their week. She laughed, making sure not to look at the mirror. She couldn't bear for them to see the scratches or, worse, meet her reflection. She spent her days trying to ignore the mirror, to live like nothing had happened. But each night, the nightmares returned. Each night, the scratching grew worse. Then one day, it stopped. The scratching, the nightmares, the whispers, all gone. She cautiously approached the mirror and stared into the depths of its blackness. What had taken her so long to notice before? There was a crack in the glass. A single tear escaped her eye and fell onto the surface. When she blinked, it vanished. She reached out to touch the cold glass. It felt real, yet reflected nothing. Was she finally free? Or was it just the beginning? If you want to hear another scary story, click the video on the screen now.